Hello, my name is Jonathan Garcia, and today I'll be talking to you about foreign aid and why it's such a good policy. Many Americans do not understand why the United States continues to give millions of dollars in foreign aid after the country continues to be in an economic downfall. My specific purpose throughout this speech is to persuade my audience to have a positive outlook in this topic and even become pro-foreign aid. Regardless of our economic status, the United States should continue to aid developing democratic countries. This country firmly believes in the idea of liberty, and we should not stop fighting for liberty until everyone around us has it. How much is liberty actually worth to you? The money that the United States budgets for foreign aid helps numerous people across the world. The United States is the most powerful country in the world, and it has the moral responsibility to help other countries in need. Foreign aid is an issue that affects all of us, either consciously or unconsciously. Before getting too much into the topic, it is important to know exactly what foreign aid is. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, foreign aid is the assistance provided by one nation to another. Merriam-Webster also states foreign aid is the transfer of capital, goods, or services from one country to another. Foreign aid may be given in form of capital transfers or technical assistance in providing for either civilian or military purposes. With a better understanding of what foreign aid is, it is now important to understand how this money is distributed. The distribution of foreign aid of the United States is very important not only to the U.S. but to the world. The United States considers any country fighting for the 3 Ds for foreign aid. The 3 Ds are development, diplomacy, and defense. According to an article in the New York Post named Where Does U.S. Aid Go?, written by Catherine Rampel, Iraq actually receives more than 25% of the national foreign aid budget. An excerpt from the article, No Time to Get Stingy, by Carol Giacomo from the New York Post, quotes, International affairs spending on diplomats and embassies aids more than 100 countries and funding for the World Bank. The United Nations and others declined after the Cold War. It rose after 9/11 from about $32 billion in 2002 to $57 billion in 2010, largely because of obligations connected to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, aid to Pakistan, and a greater investment in global health. The money that the U.S. budgets for foreign aid does not only help the country who receives it, but also the U.S. itself. Thanks to all the foreign aid that the U.S. has given countries over the years, it still remains as the most powerful country in the world. The U.S. by budgeting money for foreign aid not only helps the country in need, but also helps the country itself. It creates a leverage. However, there are some that claim that the U.S. must eliminate foreign aid due to the recent economic crisis. Many do not agree with foreign aid. Many say that U.S. is putting too much money and effort into helping other countries while neglecting the needs in its own country. The quote, the financial crunch threatens to undermine a foreign policy described as smart power by President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, one that emphasizes diplomacy and development as a complement to American military power. It also would begin to reverse the increase in foreign aid that President George W. Bush supported after the attacks of September 11, 2001. As part of an effort to combat the roots of extremism and anti-American sentiment, especially in the most troubled countries, this quote is actually taken from an article in the name that foreign aid is said to take a hit in the U.S. budget crisis. This article is written by Stephen Lee Myers. In another article from the New York Times named Where Foreign Aid Saves Lives by Nicole Kristof is taken about this article is actually talking about a trip that she recently made to Africa. And during this trip, she sees a big impact in how foreign aid is beginning to save the lives of many children and many people that are struggling with AIDS. I focus on American foreign aid to fight AIDS in the form of PREFER and American support for the Global Fund. Let me fully acknowledge that there are problems with aid, from misspent money to problems and dependency. But this trip has particularly left me feeling pretty good because the AIDS picture in Southern Africa is so different than it used to be. And this quote is where she's actually talking about how foreign aid has actually helped Africa with the aid crisis that Africa is undergoing. In conclusion, before having an opinion about foreign aid, one must first know what exactly foreign aid is and how it is distributed. However, it is even more important to know all the good that this aid does, not only to help other developing countries but your own. You know, foreign aid helps so many countries, it helps so many people around the world, that why would we cut a program that is so great? By helping developing countries, we fight for the idea that our founding fathers instilled on us. This idea is one of liberty.